What is the price target for Ripple at the height of the next bull run? That is the topic of today's video. As always, before we jump into today's topic, make sure you drop a thumbs up on the video below. I would be super grateful and it's super helpful for the algorithm. Please make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. We are dropping new videos every single week to stay up to date on everything in the rapidly evolving crypto space. So make sure you hit the bell notification icon to stay up to date with all the latest news. Right, let's jump into today's topic. So Ripple, XRP, and how high can it go by the height of the next bull run? Well, as we know, Ripple is truly one of the mega coins in the cryptocurrency ecosystem and has been for a number of years. It has put in a big shift over the past 5 to 7 years in terms of its growth and in terms of its contributions to the growth of the overall crypto ecosystem, you could say. It is currently the 5th largest cryptocurrency by market cap when we exclude Tether from the top 5 as a stablecoin. So Ripple has been there for the past 7 to 8 years as a true stalwart in the crypto space and continues to be one of the major pillars holding up the entire ecosystem. Obviously, we will get into some of the details here about the fundamentals of the project. We will have the price prediction coming towards the latter half of the video, so make sure you stay till the end for all of that. But at its core, Ripple really does appeal to the enterprise side of things as well. So it's not necessarily trying to be a direct-to-consumer play. It is more of a B2B play for enterprises and businesses to use their technology to create efficiencies of scale and to create a more liquid and more efficient way of doing business. So on their website, the three main pillars that they kind of break down are, firstly, their kind of liquidity hub. So this whole idea about being able to create better liquidity for businesses and enterprises when dealing with both cryptocurrency and fiat. So their liquidity hub is a turnkey liquidity and global payout platform built specifically for enterprise needs. It supports a variety of digital assets and connects organizations to a rich set of liquidity venues to source optimized pricing via smart order algorithms. So their thesis is basically that we're moving towards a world where businesses need to be leveraging cryptocurrencies as well as fiat currencies, and they want to be able to provide the liquidity for businesses, market makers, over-the-counters, exchanges. They want to be able to provide the liquidity for businesses to efficiently handle payments and settlements in cryptocurrencies, which kind of brings us on to the settlement layer that they kind of push as one of their big pillars of the business as well. So cross-border payment settlements is one of the other big use cases that they really try to advertise as one of their value propositions. So how Ripple's cross-border payments works: sending institutions use Ripple as a settlement layer, and then the receiving institution is able to receive funds and pay out to the beneficiaries. So again, when we think about the thesis of Bitcoin and the birth of this entire ecosystem being all about decentralization, Ripple often gets slack for not being extremely decentralized, and you could definitely argue that that is the case. But they're trying to appeal more to the enterprise side of things, and enterprises often want that settlement layer or that centralized intermediary to act as a settlement layer. So Ripple are trying to say, okay, let's use blockchain technology, but we will be that kind of middleman or settlement layer for the enterprises, and you can trust us as a result. So what they're really trying to do there is create efficiencies of scale for cross-border settlements. And then central bank digital currencies is the other big play that you will see on their website and what they kind of try to push. So, giving central banks the ability to onboard, mint, and distribute central bank digital currencies. Ripple want to be the go-to partner for as many central banks as possible to do this, enabling transacting, redeeming and destroying of CBDCs as well. So really honing in on the central bank digital currency side of things as well. So in a nutshell, this kind of whole liquidity side of things, along with cross-border settlements and CBDCs, are the three major pillars that Ripple is trying to address and where they're trying to provide value. As we dive into the tokenomics, now that we have a better understanding of the fundamentals, there's a bit of a story to be told here in terms of the chart and in terms of what has happened over the past 5 to 7 years. So Ripple came on the scene pretty early, 2013, 2014, and had a major growth spike with the 2018 bull cycle. And what we saw here was peaking out at, all-time highs of about $3.30. Now, famously or infamously, during the course of the previous bull cycle between 2020 to 2021, Ripple was going through a lawsuit with the SEC, which many people will argue contributed to the price being heavily suppressed during that previous bull cycle. So during the last bull cycle, it did not beat its previous bull cycle all-time highs. It did hit it did hit cycle highs of about $1.80, but it did not surpass the $3.30 of the previous cycle, largely because they were going through this lawsuit with the SEC. However, they did win the lawsuit with the SEC in July of 2023 last year. So what we're looking at for the next bull cycle as we approach the halving for Bitcoin and as we look towards Q4 of 2025 for a potential peak in the next bull cycle. Again, this is not financial advice, but many people are under the impression that Ripple, now that it has won that lawsuit against the SEC, is going to be more free to have a much better bull cycle this time around, with much better price action and hitting all-time highs once again, due to the fact that they are no longer going to be being suppressed by the overhang of an SEC lawsuit. So all of this is just worth considering as we, think about the fundamentals of the project, as we think about the tokenomics of the project, and also as we think about those other factors that are at play from a regulatory standpoint and some of the struggles that Ripple went through in the last bull cycle, as we make a prediction for the price in the upcoming bull cycle. So the current price for Ripple is sitting at about 52 cents. As we mentioned, all-time highs did hit 330, but not since 2018 or the very end of 2018, moving into 2019. And the circulating supply is mostly, like the entire max supply is 100 billion Ripple, and there's already 99.9 billion in circulation. So taking all of that into account, I think the fact that they won that lawsuit with the SEC in July, we can even see here on the chart, this was the time in middle 2023, this big spike in price. We got all the way up to about 75 cents here, 75 or 80 cents, I think, in the immediate couple of days after that lawsuit was won by Ripple. Obviously, we've retraced since then, but some good sentiment in terms of price movement when that happened. So the other thing that we're going to obviously need to factor into our price prediction equation is how much of the how much dominance can Ripple gain for the next bull cycle. And we've just brought up this chart here to show how the dominance of Ripple, even in the last bull cycle in 2021, at the end of 2020 here with this particular metric, even though they were going through the lawsuit with the SEC, they still managed to gain 6% dominance at the peak of the last cycle. So again, we're going to be factoring some of this into our price equation now as we move towards a price prediction, but even despite the fact that they were suppressed, they still managed to gain a 6% dominance during the past cycle. So let's move to our price predictions. So basically, we have a few variables here, as always, as we make these price predictions, but we have to make some assumptions in order to give, an educated guess as to where these price predictions could go. So some of those assumptions, we have to fill in the blanks here and use our best judgment based on what we know. So with the total market cap in a bear case scenario going to $4 trillion and thinking about Ripple at a 7% dominance. So again, what we're saying is now that they have clearance from the SEC, they've won their lawsuit, we're saying that they will only very slightly perform better than they did in the previous cycle when they were under all that pressure from the SEC with the overhanging lawsuit. We're saying that they could hit a 7% dominance at 4 trillion. That would give Ripple about a 280 billion market cap. Dividing that by the amount of Ripple that are in circulation gives us a bear case scenario of a $2.82 price prediction. Okay, this is the low end of the spectrum that we're looking at here. Moving on to a base case scenario, what we're assuming here again is that we have a higher crypto market cap, a higher total market cap, hitting around $6 trillion. And what we're saying is XRP could perform even better, attaining a 9.5% dominance. Again, when we look back to the 2018 cycle, Ripple hit 20 to 25% dominance levels in terms of market dominance during the period when it hit its all-time high of over $3.30. So a 9.5% dominance is, I think, very achievable now that they don't have the overhang of the lawsuit anymore. So what we're saying is a 6 trillion market cap, Ripple at a 9.5% dominance. That would give us a Ripple market cap of 570 billion. And dividing that by 99 billion XRP gives us a $5.76 target for the base case here for Ripple. Finally, moving on to our bull case scenario, what we are saying is the entire crypto market could reach a market cap of around $8 trillion. Thinking about XRP at an 11.5% dominance here for the height of its run in that next bull cycle, that would give us a $920 billion market cap for Ripple, and dividing that by 99 billion Ripple XRP tokens would give us a price target of about $9.29. So they are our three different scenarios for a bear case, base case, and bull case Ripple price prediction. At a purchase price right now of 52 cents, that's still a pretty meaningful ROI if it goes all the way to the bull case. It is still even a 10x based on our base case scenario. So, of course, it's very difficult to predict the future accurately, but we have to use our judgment. We have to use our knowledge and plug in some assumptions here for the different variables that are at play. But needless to say, Ripple has more freedom this time around in terms of the bull market to really make some moves. And they definitely have, a lot of fundamental use cases that are providing real value to enterprises. And I think as much as a lot of the people in this space like to shit on XRP, it does have some real tangible use cases for enterprise adoption, for cross-border settlements, and even appealing to CBDCs. If we put our decentralized hats aside for a moment, Ripple is a bit of a beast in this entire ecosystem. So it has more freedom to make some big moves this cycle. Let us know what you think. Let us know, do you think Ripple is going higher? Do you think it's going lower? What price target do you think Ripple can hit based on some of the numbers that you have seen? Let us know in the comments below. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please make sure to drop it a thumbs up below. Make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell notification icon. We're going to be dropping multiple videos every single week to stay up to date on all the moves in this space as we enter the next bull market. So make sure you're subscribed. And as always, we will catch you in the next one.